So this is the retrospective for Metal Gear Solid 5. This is a game that came out, I believe it was 2015 that this game came out, in September. First and foremost, I'm not a big Metal Gear Solid fan. The only game I like in the series is Metal Gear Solid 4. Which was a great game, and that was actually supposed to be the last Metal Gear Solid game before this shit got announced. With how this game turned out, Hideo Kojima shouldn't have wasted his time. There's a lot of things that went wrong with this game during the development. For example, Hideo Kojima, he spent too much time trying to make a new engine for the game, and he blew a lot of the game's budget, and apparently that's what sparked controversy between him and Konami, the company he used to work for, who published this game, and pretty much all the other Metal Gear Solid games. So it's not a very good game, and in fact, it's not a good game at all. There are a lot of things that's wrong, aside from, and the only thing that's really good about the game is like the graphics and the combat system. The shooting in the game's very tight and fluid and all that. Everything else is a joke in the game. It's not very good at all. Like, the open world is the worst. This is an open world game, and it's the worst open world game I've ever played. The way it's set up, there's a map or whatever, just like in every open world game, but you can't go anywhere you please, which kind of just, misses the point of an open world game to begin with. You can't just navigate and go anywhere. You have to follow the path. There are these little these roads or whatever on the map, and you have to go down the roads or whatever to get to where you want to go. Like, you can't just cut through. Game's open world, which again misses the point of an open world game to begin with. Story wise, the game is awful. Metal Gear Solid 5, similar to Final Fantasy 15, is an unfinished game. But, Final Fantasy 15 at least had a lot of meaningful content in the game still, to where, you still got your money's worth. This game really doesn't. Like I said, the story is extremely unfinished. It's basically divided into these two chapters or whatever. There was supposed to be a third that got cut out of the game. Chapter 1 is there's a first half, and then the second half, chapter 2, is just the first half of the game, except on a harder difficulty. And it's among the laziest shit that I've seen in a video game, ever. Side missions and the normal missions are, for the second half of the game, are essentially boring. It's not a very good stealth game because it's an open world game and you can just go around and shoot motherfuckers and not worry about getting caught, which misses the point of Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is a stealth-based, tactical-based, series. They're not meant to be, action-based video games. And so, all the previous Metal Gear Solids did stealth better than this one does. There's not really any boss fights in the game. There's just the Metal Gear, the big Metal Gear that you fight in the game, and that's just a bullet sponge. So that, they didn't do that very well either. As far as the characters go in the game, all of them are terrible. You have that Scarface character, or whatever the fuck his name is, in the game. He's not a very good villain. In fact, he gets killed off in the game just randomly. So he's just there to be, pretty much be a walking corpse, literally. Until he's finally killed off. He doesn't really have a purpose, and he doesn't have any kind of major impact in the game's story. What little story is there. Then you have this quiet character, which is this bitch who walks around in a fucking in these fucking just rags, pretty much. She pretty much is wearing nothing. She has no shirt on. You can see her fucking bra and shit. She's just there to fucking sell sex to the game's audience. And they even made a fucking action figure out of her with in her fucking tits move or whatever on the fucking figure. It's like, I'm really tired of that juvenile shit from Japanese game developers. The game is like the game's prologue and whatnot is the closest thing you'll get to an actual Metal Gear Solid experience. The prologue is extremely fucking just. It has that Hideo Kojima thing of being too pretentious, and it goes on too long. It's not a good prologue at all. It's one of the worst I've seen in a video game. You have a bunch of customization and shit, which is, fine, like with the weapons and all that, but the game is so weak in so many other areas that it just, I really don't care about the combat and whatnot. If the missions and the story and the characters aren't well designed, this was a big missed opportunity. I didn't even buy this game, I rented it. So yeah, it's not a very good game, and yeah, it's a good thing the series is over. That's my retrospective for Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not a very good game, so it is what it is.